Yo, what's up? 9 is it, 9 Ascension was really good. I'm out here on my bus, driving through this highway. About to hop on the E-way. Yeah, so I want to make this little video and talk about the movie Vampire in Brooklyn. I know the movie is old as all hell, but you know, I've been actually analyzing it, observing it. You know, I had to watch it a few times just to really get what the hell was going on with that movie, because it's actually one of my favorite movies. So yeah, let me put this down. So yeah, the movie Vampire in Brooklyn, you got Eddie Murphy playing as the vampire. You know, in the beginning, he came to Earth. He really came to Earth, symbolically coming from a higher realm, which is the sun, because what they try to do is they cover it up with him coming from this Caribbean island, this tropical island, where it's nothing but heat there. There's nothing but sun, you know, like 70 up to 100-degree weather, you know what I mean, as far as the heat is concerned. So they cover it up with that, but he actually came from the heavens. He came from the heavens and shot down to earth. That was the whole point of that boat going into the building, and with that being said, that would be the obelisk going inside the woman's vagina, and then that's how he came about. You know what I mean? He came out of the portal. So the casket that he was in represents the what's this called? The placenta and things like that. So he kept the placenta, which is his coffin. If you see his coffin, it's like in reference to the coffins they find up in ancient Kemet. They got rubies, diamonds, and all those kind of things embedded in his casket. You know what I mean? Letting you know he's of royal descent. But like I said, they always cover it up with distractions, you know? He became one with the Matrix in some form or fashion, you know, and that's what gave him that's what made him weak in the end. That's what made him weak. He was the wolf. He transformed into a wolf, because the wolf represents one who excuse me, these drivers. The wolf represents one who is not the sheep within the realm, within this realm. You know what I mean? It attack on sight, which means it represents that this being, not so much of a beast, but this being that don't have no emotional attachment. The wolves are the ones who can survive through nature. The wolves are the ones who have the keys. It's symbolic. It's not really in reference to a vampire, you know, turn into a wolf and then it's howling at the damn moon. You know? So his whole point was to go over, go and get the goddess. Save one of the souls. Save one of the, one of the souls that's on the planet that's actually got the royal DNA flowing through her blood, which was Angela Bassett. As far as that, she didn't have what it takes. Ultimately, she didn't have what it takes. But I want to speak about the ghoul, Kadeem Hardison. He was playing as the ghoul or whatever, and he was in a fearful state. He was in a hell of a fearful state. He kept running, and Maximilian, poked his finger with his teeth, I suppose, and stuck the blood inside his mouth. You gotta understand that his mouth would be the vagina, and then Eddie Murphy's finger would be the obelisk, and then the blood sticking out of his finger, aka the obelisk, would be the semen. You know what I mean? So he injected those codes inside of Kadeem Hardison's DNA. But in this case, it would be like him opening up unlocked DNA, which they call dormant DNA. So you gotta understand that when Kadeem Hardison, which they call Julius, his name is Julius on the movie, you gotta understand that when his body was decaying, the visual that they give you, this dude look a mess, and he losing his eye, he losing his arm, he losing a hand, so on and so forth. You gotta understand what's taking place is he's actually getting rid of his old self. He's decaying from his old ways. You know what I'm saying? So that's him shedding like a serpent snake. Symbolically, he's decaying from he's shedding from his old ways, becoming a new Julius. A god. He's becoming a god. And his mentor, his boss, aka mentor, is Maximilian. He's showing him the ropes. He's showing him the way on how to conduct himself like a god. You know what I mean? So he can be able to rule. So he showed him the way. So he had to take orders for a while, you know what I'm saying? Even things that he didn't like or agree with, he had to follow command. He had to follow orders. I might be yelling at this phone because but I'm doing it just in case his engine is too loud. Because once you put your foot on the gas, on the acceleration pedal, it tends to get a little loud. But so he was following the ropes. And that's why in the end, he was next of kin. He was next of kin. He was the successor of Maximilian. But Angela Bassett and Maximilian, they had a sexual encounter. That was the whole point of the biting on the neck and all of that. Him having her mesmerized and all those kind of things. In some form of fashion, he worked a spell on her ass. He put a spell on that ass. you know. But Angela Bassett, she became a god. She was already that. He just unlocked the dormant DNA. You know what I mean? He was trying to raise up an empire on Earth. He kept telling her because she wanted to be human. That's when it's all said and done, she wanted to be human. The board justice, justice for, the police and all of that kind of mess. He was, I think he was a human. You know what I mean? Angela Bassett, she became one with the human. And she had the cross on her damn neck. He done, Maximilian, when he was dancing with her and all of that, he ripped that damn cross off her neck, which was the spell. He ripped that spell off her neck. He was trying to raise her up, but she didn't have what it takes. That's why when the board justice, he came through her crib and was trying to see what's up because she was knocked out all night, all day. So, they getting the kissing and all of that. After he explained what happened to, that chick she had an affiliation with, in relation to the painting that she made. It looked like the painting looked like exactly how she died. After he explained all of that, she get into the motion of revealing her powers and all of that, and then she got scared. She was scared of herself, man. She had fear, man. When it's all said and done, you gotta be able to have what it takes. You can't have no fear. No matter what. Whether you able to see spirits, demons, whatever. You gotta have what it takes. But she didn't. So what she do? She fell from higher self. How do you see if she fell from higher self? She started getting scared and then she ran down the coil steps, which would be the Kundalini. She went down, she was at the crown. She was at the crown seat of the Kundalini, the crown vortex, which they call the crown chakra. And then she fell down to the root chakra because she started feeling. She kept telling Maximilian she don't want this no more. You know what I mean? But Maximilian, he started getting weak after he bit the beast. He bit that human woman. And when he bit that human woman, he was trying to get Angela Bassett to, suck on the DNA of that damn human. And if you pay attention, you realize that he started looking real beastly after he sucked the human's blood that he found in that damn park. He sucked the human's blood, and then that's when he became beastly. And then Angela Bassett, she had that beast face, but remember, she ain't never sucked the human blood. So what she did, she shapeshift to become one and with Maximilian, thinking that they in synchronicity with each other. She shapeshift. She used his powers against him and killed him. Stabbed him in his heart because he was emotional. You know what I mean? He was blinded by emotion. Even when you have a goddess or a goddess have a god man, you never supposed to become emotional amongst each other. Never. Y'all supposed to both carry yourself like a union, like as a unit. You know what I'm saying? Simple. Carry yourselves as a unit. with no emotional attachment, no emotions involved. So that's what it was. And then the sun, he was hiding from the sun because he knew the higher beings was arriving. He was trying to detach from the higher beings. That's why he came through at night. It wasn't so much that he couldn't come out during the sunlight. During the sunlight, it was just that he was hiding from the higher beings. He was trying to hide away from those higher codes and become one with the night. He was hiding from the ether, the non-ether. He was trying to hide from the ether dimension, trying to hide from those ether codes. So in this case, he was being a god, but in some form of fashion, it was like he was doing with thy will to fulfill whatever it is he needed to fulfill, as far as his personal endeavors. He was trying to become one with earth, rule earth, and all that kind of stuff. So he was hiding from the Lord, which they call gods. He was hiding from the Lord beings, the higher beings, and trying to become one with the damn moon energy. But if you really pay attention, even when he was playing as this reverend, this priest, not a priest, but the reverend, he was really making sense, because he was saying, without bad, you need good. You need good and bad. You need both these principles, so to speak. So he's talking about the polarities that you're dealing with on earth. You know what I mean? He was saying that they both principles are necessary, which is facts. It's very much necessary. You need these principles. But you can't tell it to these basehead niggas out here, you know what I mean? Because they ain't gonna never get it. They not gonna never get it, man. But yeah, to sum it all up, Julius was the successor, and he became the god. And in order for you to become a god, you must shed your skin. In other words, you must shed the old you to become a new you, a more advanced you, a future you. That goes for all the gods and goddesses out here. That's us, man. But yeah, I'm gonna shut this video. I'm gonna shut this video down. Just wanted to explain that, talk about that. It was very much necessary because nobody really spoke up on the Vampire in Brooklyn movie like that. You don't see nobody decoding this. You know what I'm saying? He became one with the beast after he done bit the damn beast, bit the beast's blood, the neck, with that human woman, you know what I mean? And you already see that he a black man, and they see that, but he's the God, you know what I mean? Eddie Murphy had plenty God movies in reference to him being a God. Trading Places, Coming to America, Vampire in Brooklyn, of course. I think it's called Holy Man. The other movie he got, I think it's called Holy Man or something like that. But yeah, I'm closing out. Check out the movie Vampire in Brooklyn and observe it. Maybe you'll catch some things that I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm closing out. Much peace. Non is it, non-ascension.